At first glance, the Lorenzi family appeared flawless. Hailing from a small Italian town, they seemed as if they had stepped straight out of a postcard. Their home rested peacefully in a quiet neighborhood. Anna Maria and Stefano Lorenzi were a content couple raising two wonderful sons, Samuel and David. But on the cold morning of January 30th, 2002, their idyllic life shattered into a waking nightmare. With trembling hands and a voice cracking with terror, Anna Maria dialed emergency services, screaming that her youngest son Samuel was dying. Within minutes, a helicopter pierced the stillness, but what the medical team discovered inside the Lorenzi home sent an icy chill down their spines. Samuel lay unconscious on the bedroom floor, his body stained with blood. Anna Maria, visibly shattered, repeatedly claimed her son's head had exploded. Who could commit such a horrific act? Anna Maria Lorenzi, née Francione, was born on August 19, 1971, in the picturesque city of Bologna, Italy. She was the youngest of 6 siblings raised in a close-knit, joyful, and relatively affluent family. Her father helmed a prosperous construction business, while her mother dedicated herself to nurturing their large family and creating a warm home. From a young age, Anna Maria was driven to excel in every endeavor. A top student, she took dance lessons and always ensured her appearance was impeccable. She was the family's cherished favorite, protected and adored not only by her parents, but also by her older siblings. Yet amid her privileged upbringing, Anna Maria yearned fiercely for independence. At 18, she left her family home to carve out a life of her own in a distant city. She balanced university studies with work as a hotel receptionist, quickly climbing the ranks to management. Her reputation for handling even the toughest challenges grew swiftly. True to form, Anna Maria thrived professionally. In the mid-1990s, fate introduced her to Stefano Lorenzi, a guest at the hotel where she worked. The spark between them was immediate and undeniable. They exchanged numbers and began meeting regularly. Their relationship blossomed rapidly until Stefano invited her to move in with him. An accomplished engineer from Bologna, Stefano sought to leave the city's chaos behind for a tranquil countryside life. He had saved to purchase a spacious home in Condove, a quiet mountain town nestled in the Aosta Valley, home to just 1,500 residents. Life in Condove was slow and peaceful with virtually no crime. They appeared to be the perfect family. In 1995, Stefano proposed and Anna Maria eagerly accepted, ready to become his wife. Their wedding was a romantic seaside ceremony full of joy. They soon moved into Stefano's house in Como. Shortly after the wedding, Anna Maria became pregnant and gave birth to their first son, Davide, by year's end. In 1999, their second son, Samuel, was born. Following Samuel's birth, Anna Maria left her job to dedicate herself fully to managing the home and raising her family. On the surface, the Lorenzi family was harmonious and content. Everyone who knew Anna Maria praised her as an impeccable homemaker, devoted wife, and loving mother. Despite the demands of motherhood, her home remained spotless, and she always appeared poised as though ready for a grand event. Stefano's career flourished, earning a promotion that enabled him to provide a comfortable, worry-free life for his family. In the fall of 2001, David began school quickly, standing out as one of the brightest students. Teachers lauded his intelligence and curiosity, often holding him up as a model for others. To outsiders, the Lorenzi family lived a dream filled with love and prosperity. It seemed nothing could disrupt their perfect world. Then in January 2002, an unimaginable tragedy struck. Unraveling the truth would require years of painstaking investigation. On January 30th, 2002, around 9 in the morning, a frantic woman made an emergency call. She reported her son was gravely ill, vomiting blood, begging for immediate help. About 20 minutes later, residents heard the urgent whir of a helicopter overhead, searching for a landing spot. Upon arrival, medics were met by Daniela Ferrata, a neighbor who had rushed over after hearing Anna Maria's desperate screams and waited outside with her. Inside, on the first floor, the family doctor, summoned by Anna Maria, was already administering emergency care to Samuel before the city team could intervene. Upstairs in a second-floor bedroom, Anna Maria clung to Samuel, her voice pleading for someone to save him. The room was stained dark with blood, and a gauze bandage soaked through with blood and tissue covered Samuel's head. He lay unconscious, showing no signs of life. Rushed by helicopter to the hospital, the emergency team fought to revive him but ultimately failed. Less than 30 minutes later, the devastating news came. Samuel had died. Beneath the bandage, multiple deep wounds marred his head, inflicted with brutal force by a sharp weapon. He had been struck repeatedly until his skull fractured in several places, causing catastrophic brain trauma that left no chance for survival. A chilling question hung in the air. What terrible event had shattered the peace of this seemingly perfect family home? And who could harbor such malice toward young Samuel? From the very start, strange reactions and perplexing testimonies began to surface, clouding the truth. The circumstances surrounding Samuel's case were anything but ordinary. Suspicion and confusion took hold. His mother, Maria Lorenzi, struggled to provide a coherent account of the tragedy, while even the first witnesses at the scene were left bewildered. Stefano Lorenzi, the family patriarch, rushed home from work only to arrive after Samuel had already been airlifted to the hospital. He never got the chance to say farewell. When the devastating call came confirming their younger son's death, Stefano crumpled to the ground, burying his face in his hands as grief overwhelmed him. In stark contrast, Maria Lorenzi remained unnervingly composed, embracing her husband and reportedly expressing a desire to have another son to replace Samuel. Both Anna Maria and Stefano would later vehemently deny that such words had been spoken. Anna Maria appeared trapped in a daze, her mind clouded by shock. Her speech was incoherent, and she was unable to reconstruct the sequence of events. Her testimony wavered, marked by contradictions, while witness statements only deepened the mystery. Once investigators uncovered signs of foul play, every detail demanded relentless scrutiny to unravel the how and why behind this brutal act. Anna Maria's account began with her waking around 7 a.m. preparing breakfast for Stefano and seeing him off to work by 7:45 a.m. She then roused David Lorenzi, fed him, and packed his lunch for school. It was then that she heard Samuel crying, prompting her to rush to his side. Samuel complained of a headache, so Anna Maria moved him to her bedroom to rest before walking David to the bus stop. With the bus running about 5 minutes late, she waited with David until he boarded. Returning home, she was met with a horrifying scene. Anna Maria, distraught and unable to explain. The blood-stained room sobbed that Samuel's head had exploded, pleading for help. Believing Samuel had vomited blood, she frantically called their family doctor, who lived nearby, and rushed over upon hearing about the wound on Samuel's head. Anna Maria's screams pierced the morning air, drawing neighbor Daniela Ferrata to the scene. Daniela found Anna Maria drenched in blood, desperately trying to comprehend the nightmare unfolding before her. Overcome by shock, Daniela entered the house and approached the bedroom, but soon fled outside, struggling to suppress her nausea. What she witnessed was like a scene ripped from a horror film, defying all reason and explanation. Anna Maria repeatedly insisted that Samuel had complained of a headache before she discovered him in his dreadful state. The family doctor was the first medical professional to assess Samuel after arriving shortly following the emergency call. Over the phone, Anna Maria had described Samuel vomiting blood and later claimed his head had exploded. Though the doctor's mind reeled at the bizarre description, he sought a plausible medical explanation. He hypothesized that Samuel might have suffered from improperly fused skull bones, causing a cerebral aneurysm to burst, which resulted in brain damage, intense pressure, and skull fractures. The doctor treated the open wound and administered an anti-shock injection before the emergency helicopter arrived. Yet even then, he privately admitted that Samuel's chances of survival were bleak. He also noted that Anna Maria's clothed hands and face were soaked in blood, but initially assumed she had been desperately trying to aid her son. The medical examiner found 18 wounds on Samuel's head, caused by a sharp weapon, and disturbingly, the doctor recalled spotting brain matter in Anna Maria's hair, a detail he couldn't explain. Despite these inconsistencies and strange details, authorities hesitated to press charges against Anna Maria. She steadfastly maintained that the tragedy unfolded while she was at the bus stop with her older son. According to her, Samuel had woken up seemingly fine, only a bit fussy and complaining of a headache. David Lorenzi supported his mother's version, stating he saw no blood, and that Samuel remained in their parents' bedroom when they left the house. Could an unknown assailant have seized this moment, sneaking in to commit this savage act while the house was nearly empty? No signs of forced entry were found. Nothing was stolen, and the brutality suggested a deeply personal motive. Investigators explored the possibility that Stefano had a secret lover seeking revenge or to sever his family ties through violence. This theory was thoroughly investigated only to confirm Stefano's reputation as a devoted husband and loving father, with no history of infidelity. With no alternative leads, suspicion focused squarely on Anna Maria, though police required more evidence to unravel the full context and motive behind the horrific crime. The murder weapon was never recovered, neither inside the home nor on the surrounding property. The parents' bedroom was soaked in blood fitting the crime scene, yet no foreign fingerprints or clues surfaced beyond those belonging to the Lorenzi family. Faced with scant evidence, investigators turned to a cutting-edge forensic method for the era bloodstain pattern analysis. This technique promised to reveal the trajectory and angle of blows, the perpetrator's position, and movements during the attack. Blood spattered nearly every surface of the room, a grim canvas for analysis. The painstaking work of reconstructing the violent sequence had only just begun. Blood spatter analysis uncovered disturbing clues at the crime scene. Experts from the Capitol were summoned, but their conclusions failed to bring clarity. Since bloodstain pattern analysis was still emerging as a forensic science, the specialists offered conflicting interpretations. A new and chilling theory took shape. An unhinged intruder might have broken in and violently attacked Samuel. The ferocity of the blows was so intense that blood splattered all the way to the ceiling. Investigators believed the assailant fled quickly, taking the weapon along in haste, yet such a perpetrator would have been drenched in blood, leaving traces on clothing and shoes. But none were ever found. No bloody footprints appeared at the scene, only bare prints that matched Maria Lorenzi. Neighbors reported no suspicious figures lurking around during those crucial hours. The streets of Cogne buzzed with morning activity, and anyone stained with blood would have drawn immediate attention. Investigators found Maria's blood-stained pajamas crumpled behind Samuel's bed, with no blood drops nearby, suggesting she changed clothes before taking David to the bus stop. This raised a haunting question: how did the blood get on them? Moreover, the stains didn't match someone pressing fabric against a wound. Instead, the pajamas bore clear blood spatter marks. Bloodied traces were also found on the soles of her house slippers tucked away nearby. All signs seemed to implicate Maria Lorenzi as the person responsible for the brutal attack. From a young age, Maria had been driven to excel at everything she pursued. In the vibrant city, she was top of her class, a standout university student, and a prized employee at a prestigious hotel. But her world shifted dramatically after marrying Stefano Lorenzi and moving to Cogne. In this small town, everyone knew each other, and idle housewives gossiped endlessly about families and appearances. It was a community hungry for flaws, and Maria felt the pressure to never slip or show weakness. She kept her home immaculate, dressed impeccably, and made sure Stefano's career flourished while David thrived in school. But sustaining this flawless image drained her physically and emotionally. Her greatest struggle began after the birth of her second son. Maria endured a difficult pregnancy followed by severe postpartum depression. Her health declined sharply. She lost weight, battled insomnia, and wrestled with constant anxiety. Her family doctor prescribed mild sedatives, antidepressants, and sleeping aids. She was advised to attend therapy sessions, but no one sensed an imminent threat. The doctor maintained that Maria showed no serious mental illness, no danger to herself or others, and no hint of violent tendencies. Yet she was painfully sensitive to criticism, and consumed by fears about maintaining her perfect public image. In a rare moment of candor, she confided to a neighbor that Samuel, her younger son, was difficult and fussy. She even described Samuel as unattractive and felt he didn't belong in their picture-perfect family. Despite these troubling remarks, no one could have foreseen that she might harm her own child. The case quickly captivated the media's attention. Though the murder weapon was never recovered, and Maria vehemently denied involvement, she was arrested on March 14, 2002. Forensic experts argued convincingly that the blood spatter on her pajamas had to have been deposited during the assault on Samuel based on its pattern and placement. Prosecutors believed she had carelessly failed to dispose of this crucial evidence after changing clothes and discarding the weapon. By summer, Maria was released to house arrest as the investigation dragged on. Blood spatter analysis was challenged as unreliable since this forensic method was still not widely accepted or validated in Italy. The prosecution then brought in foreign experts, dedicating 6 more months to the case. Using a life-sized mannequin and a stand-in matching Maria's build, they reconstructed the attack on Samuel. They demonstrated how the blood spatter could have landed on her pajamas if the wearer sat across from Samuel, striking downward with a large blade. The case was reopened in January, but Maria was not detained again due to her pregnancy. Psychological evaluations confirmed she posed no danger to herself or others. In March 2003, over a year after the tragedy, the Lorenzi family welcomed a new son, Giovanni. The Lorenzi case had become a media sensation, captivating tens of thousands of followers. Maria's flamboyant defense attorney, Carlo Taormina, wasted no time attacking the investigators' competence. Determined to expose weaknesses in the prosecution's case, he launched his own investigation. The defense's theatrics and shifting stories soon became apparent. Each time Carlo Taormina appeared in court or to the press, he presented new theories and alleged evidence. David Lorenzi, who had initially given consistent testimony, suddenly recalled seeing a man dressed in black near their home. Yet the boy was unable to provide any concrete details about the mysterious stranger. Prosecutors later accused Carlo Taormina of deliberately manipulating the boy's memories to introduce the notion of an unknown outsider. Taormina also argued that the weapon was not a knife, but rather resembled a carpenter's hammer with a clawed end known for its curved metal hooks used to extract nails. In his account, the number of strikes was actually half the originally reported amount, as each blow had caused 2 wounds. This theory suggested the attacker could have executed the assault swiftly within the brief moment Maria Lorenzi was escorting Davide to the bus stop. A pivotal new piece of evidence emerged: a shoe print found on the blanket wrapped around Samuel Lorenzi. The print, roughly a men's size 10, implied the possible presence of a man at the crime scene. Strangely, this footprint had gone undocumented during the initial investigation, despite the bloody blanket being collected as evidence. What appeared to be a case of grave negligence hinted that key evidence potentially clearing Maria Lorenzi had been overlooked. Further examination, however, revealed the footprint was not left in blood. Instead, it was a mere dirt stain impossible to have originated from the perpetrator. It was eventually proven the print belonged to a forensic photographer who had accidentally stepped on the blanket's edge while documenting the scene. The photographer faced charges of professional misconduct, and once again, Maria Lorenzi remained the prime suspect. The courtroom battles and fresh theories continued to unfold. In July 2004, Maria Lorenzi was convicted of the premeditated murder of her son and sentenced to 30 years behind bars. Yet just a week after the verdict, she dropped a bombshell accusation. She pointed the finger at their neighbor, Ulysses Gusciardo, claiming he was the true culprit. According to her, Ulysses had persistently tried to flirt with her, but she had always rebuffed and ignored his advances. Her husband, Stefano Lorenzi, supported her claim, confirming that Ulysses had shown inappropriate interest in Maria. Ulysses Gusciardo was summoned for questioning, but was taken aback by the accusation and vehemently denied any involvement. Moreover, he presented an ironclad alibi for the day of the crime, proving he had been traveling for work, a fact that was thoroughly verified, clearing him of suspicion. Furious at the allegations, Gusciardo retaliated with a countersuit accusing Maria Lorenzi of defamation. New legal battles erupted in October 2004, centering on the defamation case and claims of evidence tampering. Maria Lorenzi was found guilty once more. Her sentence extended by an additional 18 months, complicating matters further. Her attorney Carlo Taormina was disbarred and barred from representing her in court. A year later, the Lorenzis introduced yet another theory, alleging their neighbor, Daniela Ferrata, the very woman who first responded to Maria's screams, might be responsible. Jealousy was suggested as a possible motive. However, the investigation uncovered no evidence linking Daniela Ferrata to the crime, and multiple family members confirmed her alibi, whether declared insane or not. Maria Lorenzi's new defense attorney shifted tactics, arguing she required a psychiatric evaluation. He claimed she had suffered a temporary mental breakdown and was unaware of her actions during the incident. This new approach bought time, causing procedural delays, and in April 2007, Maria was transferred from prison to a hospital ward. However, the prosecution successfully established that she was mentally competent and fully conscious of her deeds. Once again, she was found guilty. This time, though, the court considered mitigating circumstances, including her prolonged postpartum depression, which allegedly triggered a psychological crisis. The fact that she was mother to 2 sons also influenced the decision, resulting in her sentence being reduced from 30 years to 16, with eligibility for early release after serving 11. In May 2008, an appeal filed by Maria Lorenzi and her lawyer was denied, leaving the sentence intact. Around this time, her former attorney, Carlo Taormina, filed a lawsuit against her, demanding nearly $80,000 in unpaid legal fees or seizure of the Lorenzis' family home. His claims were dismissed as invalid, and he ultimately failed to recover any compensation. Regarding her reduced sentence and release in 2013, Maria Lorenzi benefited from good behavior credits. Her punishment was modified from incarceration to house arrest, permitting her return home to her family. Psychiatrists concluded she no longer posed a danger to society. By 2019, she was granted early parole. Maria Lorenzi and her husband Stefano remained together, having since relocated to a new city. The house where the tragedy unfolded was sold, as the Lorenzis could not bear to return. Remarkably, none of Maria's loved ones ever abandoned her. Her family steadfastly stood by her, convinced of her innocence. To this day, the Lorenzi family believes the true perpetrator of the crime against Samuel remains free, unpunished, and shrouded in mystery.